On April 26, 2013, a Friday evening, Jessica Heeringa, a 26-year-old woman, was fulfilling her duties during the late shift at a gas station located in Norton Shores, Michigan, United States. Jessica, a devoted mother to her 3-year-old son, diligently worked various shifts to support her child, especially given that her partner, Dakota Quayle Dyer, had recently faced unemployment. Despite occasional disagreements between Jessica and Dakota, she remained resolute in her determination to provide her son with a bright future. On April 26, Jessica's day unfolded routinely. She completed her grocery shopping by 2:44 p.m. before heading to her scheduled shift. By 4:35 p.m., she arrived at the gas station, ready to start her workday. At 11:14 p.m., a customer at the gas station placed a non-emergency call to 911, expressing concern. "I'm not entirely certain if this qualifies as an emergency, but there's no one present. I tried to pump gas, but it didn't work. Upon entering the store, there's no sign of any staff. There are cars parked here, and another one out front. It's quite suspicious." The customer also informed the 911 operator that despite the gas station appearing open, with its lights on and no locks engaged, there was no visible staff inside or outside. Law enforcement responded promptly to the gas station and initiated a thorough investigation, promptly notifying the owner about the unlocked state of the premises. Upon inspection, several perplexing clues emerged regarding Jessica's disappearance. Her car remained parked outside the gas station, and inside, her purse containing over $400, along with her keys and jacket, were discovered. Strangely, despite the circumstances, the money in the gas station's register remained untouched. It seemed evident that Jessica had been in the process of closing up and concluding her shift when she mysteriously vanished. Inside the store, there were no apparent signs of a struggle. However, during their investigation of the back door and its surroundings, the police made a startling discovery: traces of blood outside, along with a battery cover from a laser sight for a Walther P22 pistol, accompanied by 2 watch batteries. Reviewing the receipts, authorities noted that the last customer receipt was time-stamped at 10:52 p.m. As concerns about Jessica's absence grew, the store owner enlisted the nearby store manager's help in closing the store. The investigation into Jessica Heeringa's disappearance took a significant turn with statements from her friend and the store manager. According to Jessica's friend, she had been at the store with Jessica from approximately 7:40 p.m. that night, staying for over an hour before departing around 8:50 p.m. On the contrary, the last customer known to have interacted with Jessica reported that the gas station was deserted, with Jessica being the sole individual inside, and there was no one else in the store or the parking lot during their visit. The store manager, who arrived later to secure the premises, provided a crucial eyewitness account. She recalled that she and her husband were out around 11 p.m., riding their motorcycles eastbound on Sternberg Road. While passing the Exxon station, she observed a silver minivan entering the north drive from the service drive of the mall. The van proceeded to drive behind the gas station, turned off its headlights, and pulled up behind the store. At that moment, Jessica's car was the only other vehicle in the parking lot. The store manager witnessed a figure at the back of the van, opening and closing the rear hatch before moving to the driver's door, getting inside the van, and driving westbound on the service drive. This account became crucial information for the investigation into Jessica Heeringa's mysterious disappearance. Throughout the time the van was present, the manager did not see Jessica and did not hear anything suggesting distress or a struggle. She witnessed the driver of the van, a male wearing a red or orange sweatshirt. Although her husband didn't get a clear view, he noticed the individual had unkempt or wavy hair. Additionally, her husband believed the van to be a silver Chrysler Town and Country. The police investigation into Jessica Heeringa's disappearance expanded as they obtained surveillance footage from a store in the Point Mall, revealing crucial details. Despite the absence of cameras at the gas station, footage from the surrounding area proved pivotal. At 11:02 p.m., the footage captured a silver minivan turning northbound onto Grand Haven Road. Shortly afterward, surveillance footage from the Homestead Tavern depicted the same van traveling northbound on Grand Haven Road, just 1 minute later. Christian van Antwerpen, employed in a store adjacent to the gas station, notified the police that he observed a man in a minivan conversing with Jessica. He stated, "It just seemed to me that this was just another guy hitting on her or whatever because she was an attractive girl. It was just an afterthought. I almost didn't think about mentioning it, but I thought it was my responsibility to say something about it." Christian recalled witnessing an interaction between Jessica and a man at the gas pump as she prepared to close the station. Christian reported that the man appeared flirtatious and questioned why Jessica was outside instead of inside the station. Both Christian and the gas station manager provided the police with a description of the man they observed in the minivan. Based on their descriptions, the police released a composite sketch of the minivan driver, depicting him as a white male, approximately 6 feet tall, with a medium to heavy build. Throughout their investigation, law enforcement interviewed Jeffrey Willis, a local resident who owned a silver minivan, in connection with Jessica's disappearance. Willis consented to a search of his van, but investigators found nothing connected to Jessica inside. However, they observed that the van seemed to have been recently cleaned. Willis told the police that he had been at home until 12:30 a.m. that night. Despite thorough searches in the vicinity, there was no trace of Jessica, and the case eventually went cold, leaving investigators with unanswered questions and no definitive leads. In 2016, a troubling incident unfolded involving a silver minivan attempting to abduct a teenage. The girl, on her way home from a gathering, was approached by the driver of the minivan, who offered her a ride home. Sensing danger, she requested to use the driver's phone instead. However, once inside the van, the driver locked the doors and informed her that the phone's battery was dead. To her horror, he then revealed a weapon. As the situation escalated, the girl struggled to breathe and pleaded with the driver to open a window. Seizing the opportunity, she bravely jumped out of the moving van, managing to escape her captor's grasp. Remarkably, the teenager identified the driver of the silver minivan as Jeffrey Willis. Upon searching Jeffrey's van, authorities discovered a stolen Walther P22 pistol. Its serial number had been intentionally obscured, but through diligent efforts, the police successfully restored it, allowing them to trace the firearm back to its rightful owner. Surprisingly, the owner turned out to be one of Jeffrey's co-workers, who reported the gun missing from her residence. Adding to the mystery, she noted that the gun had a laser sight attached. However, when recovered by authorities, the laser sight was notably absent. The thorough search of Jeffrey's van, residence, and electronic devices yielded compelling evidence suggesting that Jeffrey not only attempted to abduct a teenager but also played a role in the murder of Rebecca Blatch and the disappearance and subsequent murder of Jessica Heeringa. As a result, Jeffrey faced charges of murder. During Jessica's murder trial, the prosecution asserted that Jeffrey was a regular customer at the Exxon gas station where Jessica was employed. They emphasized that Jeffrey had inherited a property at 3038 Bailey following his grandfather's passing, conveniently located just 12 or 13 minutes away from the gas station. On the night Jessica vanished on April 26, Jeffrey was reportedly present at a card game near the gas station, having driven there in his silver minivan. Phone records indicated his presence in the vicinity of the Bailey property around 11:23 p.m. That same night, subsequent police searches of the padlocked Bailey property uncovered cleaning supplies, including bleach. Testimonies from Jeffrey's coworkers further supported the prosecution's case, as they recalled observing deep scratches on Jeffrey's face and arms when he returned to work after that fateful night. Moreover, a witness who spotted a man resembling Jeffrey in the minivan on the night of Jessica's disappearance noted blonde streaks in the individual's hair, a feature commonly associated with Jeffrey's hair highlighting practices. The prosecution argued that Jeffrey had been monitoring Jessica for a period leading up to the incident. They alleged that on that specific night, he maneuvered his vehicle to the rear of the gas station and coerced Jessica to enter his minivan, potentially using threats or physical force, as evidenced by the discovery of her blood outside the back entrance. Prosecutors theorized that Jeffrey abducted Jessica from the gas station and subsequently killed her within a time frame of 24 to 48 hours. They asserted that his motive was likely focused on engaging in criminal sexual activity. Testimony from Brendan Nestor, a regular customer at the Exxon gas station, was presented. She recalled encountering Jessica with Jeffrey the night before her disappearance and expressed concern for Jessica's safety, advising her against being alone at such late hours. In response, Jeffrey remarked to Brenda, "She's got her customers looking out for her." Brenda recounted observing Jessica's reaction to Jeffrey's presence, noting that Jessica appeared to shake her head and start shivering, as if a chill had suddenly overcome her. Brenda sensed that Jessica was not her usual cheerful self that night, prompting her to linger in the parking lot until closing time. From her vantage point, she witnessed Jeffrey departing the premises. The prosecution argued that Jeffrey returned the following night and abducted Jessica, building their case around this sequence of events. In their effort to strengthen their case, the prosecution presented a pattern in Jeffrey's behavior regarding women, emphasizing his alleged propensity for abduction. They recounted an incident involving the attempted abduction of a teenage girl and highlighted the case of Rebecca Blatch, a 36-year-old woman found deceased on a road near her residence. Rebecca had suffered a fatal gunshot wound. She was found with her shirt slightly raised and her bottoms partially lowered, indicating a possible struggle. The prosecution argued that Jeffrey had intended to abduct Rebecca at gunpoint, planning to take her to the abandoned Bailey property, where he would sexually assault and ultimately kill her. However, they claimed that Rebecca resisted, leading Jeffrey to shoot her. Evidence linking Rebecca's DNA to Jeffrey's glove was presented. Additionally, the prosecution asserted that Jeffrey used the Walther P22 pistol to commit the crime. These details were presented to the jury as part of the prosecution's argument. Police discovered compelling evidence linking Jeffrey to Rebecca Fletcher's murder, including her DNA found on gloves and a vibrator inside a locked toolbox, as well as on handcuffs within a locked lockbox, all recovered from Jeffrey's van. Furthermore, the Walther P22 pistol used in Rebecca's murder was found in the same lockbox, where Jeffrey's DNA was also present on these items. Prosecutors characterized these items as Jeffrey's rape kit, as they contained various tools and implements commonly associated with sexual assault, including handcuffs, rope restraints, chains, intimate toys, a gag, lubricating jelly, insulin, syringes, gloves, Viagra, cameras, and bullets. Trial related to Rebecca's case. Jeffrey was convicted of first-degree murder and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. He was sentenced to life in prison, with an additional 2 years for the felony firearm charge. Although no DNA evidence was directly linked to Jessica Heeringa, the prosecution asserted that they possessed abundant evidence implicating Jeffrey in her disappearance and presumed murder. They emphasized that DNA evidence was not necessary, given the substantial array of other incriminating evidence against him. Forensic examination of Jeffrey's electronic devices uncovered disturbing evidence suggesting his involvement in the disappearances and potential murders of Jessica Heeringa and Rebecca Blatch. Investigators found folders on his computer labeled Vix, along with 2 folders bearing the initials of Jessica and Rebecca. Police concluded that these initials corresponded to the victims, with accompanying dates believed to indicate the days of their respective disappearances or deaths. Remarkably, the date beside Jessica's initials corresponded to the day following her disappearance. The folder marked JLH, denoting Jessica's initials, contained various images of her, including her missing person poster, and a saved news article outlining her disappearance. Upon further investigation, it was revealed that Jeffrey's passwords for several accounts incorporated Jessica's initials and the date of her disappearance. Furthermore, investigators uncovered a substantial assortment of troubling images and videos portraying violent actions against individuals, including abduction, restraint, assault, and homicide. Some of the materials showed objects consistent with those depicted in the videos, such as restraints and gag items. Moreover, Jeffrey had numerous homemade videos showing individuals, without their consent, in private settings like swimming pools or their residences, suggesting voyeuristic behavior. These videos provided clear indications of Jeffrey's predatory conduct and disregard for others' privacy and safety. The defense staunchly asserted Jeffrey's innocence, challenging the prosecution's case on multiple grounds. They argued that mere possession of a silver minivan did not definitively link Jeffrey to the vehicle observed in the gas station footage, particularly given the absence of a recorded license plate number. Additionally, they scrutinized Brenda's testimony, raising doubts about the timing of her assertion regarding Jeffrey's presence at the gas station on the evening before Jessica's disappearance, which surfaced 3 years later. The defense also raised concerns about the credibility of Jessica's boyfriend, Dakota Quayle Dyer, highlighting the tumultuous nature of their relationship and their frequent arguments. Dakota's revelation about Jessica's alleged drug use further cast doubt, prompting speculation by the defense about potential links between Jessica's disappearance and possible involvement in drug-related activities. The jury ultimately returned a unanimous verdict, finding Jeffrey guilty of the kidnapping and murder of Jessica Ringu. As a result, he was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Kevin Blum, Jeffrey's cousin, emerged as a significant figure following Jessica's disappearance. Initially, Kevin pleaded guilty to providing misleading information to detectives during the investigation. However, he later changed his plea to no contest, admitting his role as an accessory after the fact. Kevin admitted to assisting Jeffrey in disposing of Jessica's body after witnessing her with Jeffrey. According to Kevin's testimony, Jessica had suffered a head injury, was undressed, restrained, and unresponsive. He described how Jeffrey had been monitoring Jessica for some time and had assaulted her before relocating her body to an isolated area. Kevin recounted a disturbing narrative involving sexual assault, the use of personal items, and mistreatment inflicted upon Jessica by Jeffrey. Eventually, they both traveled to Sheridan Road near Layton Road, where Jeffrey had already prepared a burial site. After the legal proceedings concluded, Jeffrey was sentenced to a period of incarceration followed by 5 years of probation. Despite this, Jessica's remains remain undiscovered, depriving her family of closure. Following her disappearance, her parents led an effort for legislative change by advocating for the Jessica Heeringa Act, also known as Jessica's Law. This proposed legislation seeks to mandate gas stations and convenience stores operating between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. to either install and maintain security camera systems or ensure the presence of 2 employees during these shifts. Despite their efforts, the bill has not been enacted into law. In 2018, the Michigan House of Representatives passed a bill requiring convicted defendants to attend victim impact statement hearings. The need for this bill stemmed from Jeffrey's conduct in Rebecca's case, where he was found guilty of her murder. Despite being required, he chose not to attend the victim impact statement hearings. As a result, in that same year, the bill was signed into law and is known as the Rebecca Blatch Law. It's important to understand how the law works in real-life situations like this one. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. Take care of yourself and your family, and I'll see you soon for more discussions like this one.